Hi folks, it's Farmer Tom here. It's the 11th of February. We're on to our second box of our Cheese a Day challenge, cheese tasting, and today is a really exciting day. It's a day, in fact, of distinction, and I'm not talking about the hastily edited and slightly shoddy production values of my Cheese a Day challenge videos. I'm talking about our cheese, and I'm talking about our guest. This is Cheese 11, and I cannot wait to taste this cheese of distinction. And I'm looking forward to introducing you to our guest today, who will be tasting cheeses, I'm sure, with distinction, because distinction marks her career out, right from her MBA distinction through to the distinction of her role at DEFRA in the current day. So please welcome Janet Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so pleased you're here to be tasting cheese with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am loving February dairy, and the Cheese a Day challenge is my kind of challenge to just eat loads of cheese. I am very much enjoying that.
It's because I think you run a bit, and there was Red, wasn't there? Run every day in January, and I think this is the this is a great follow-on.
I wouldn't call what I do running. I kind of jog intermittently. I'm not a brilliant runner. I used to run a lot in my 20s, and I wish I could get back to that, and I absolutely cannot. I just go, my legs just, my brain says run, and my legs go jog very slowly like that. So, but you know, better than nothing, isn't it?
I'm glad you're like me. I often have to correct people who say you're a runner, and I say no, I'm a jogger.
Yeah.
There is a difference. There is a difference.
Definitely a very big difference. If you saw me, you would see there is nothing like running.
Well,
going on here.
I'm surprised you get time to run. I was just looking through your career path. You worked in the House of Commons, the Assembly, the Government Digital Service, the Department for Education, and now you're in DEFRA. That's quite a career and quite a list of roles. And you know, I think you're like me. You know, we're not here to make up the numbers. So
absolutely, I want to make a difference, and that's why I wanted to work in the program where I am now, because I just think there's such a huge opportunity for us all working together to make a big difference, and I really love it. So I do make no apology about the fact that I do throw myself at my work, and I really enjoy doing that. I like being fully invested in what I'm doing, and you know,
amazing. Well, it's so great to hear that. Tell us a bit more about what you do, what your role is at the moment at DEFRA.
So I am the Programme Director for the Future Farming and Countryside Programme in DEFRA, and our programme is the team of people that are going to manage the transition, the agricultural transition, which is basically everything we're doing to close down and move away from the Common Agricultural Policy, ending direct payments, improving and then closing down existing schemes like countryside stewardship, and then introducing environmental land management, better ways to regulate against damage to welfare and the environment, ways to support productivity, advice and guidance for farmers. So all of that stuff comes within the programme, and I work with colleagues from the Rural Payment Agency and Natural England and others, and also lots of people from the wider farming community to help make sure we do that in a way that makes the sector really vibrant and competitive, and also achieves better environmental outcomes and climate change outcomes and animal welfare outcomes from the sector. And I only started the job in June. I don't have a farming background. As you say, I've had a bit of a varied career, but all of my jobs have been about making things work better for users, for people who need to use government services and interact with government. And that's my passion in life. That's my purpose in life. And I'm thoroughly enjoying doing in this role here. I feel like I've got the best job in government. I really enjoying getting to know farmers and getting to know farming and understanding more about nature, and being able to deliver something that's such a kind of significant change, and trying to do that in a respectful and successful way. So yeah, I love my job basically, and I make no apology about that.
Oh, well, it's great to have you in that role, and I've been on a couple of calls with you, and you know, you get to 100, 200, 300 different variables and so many things happening. It's a really crazy time in farming, but it's a really exciting time as well. I think the pace of change has never been faster, and I think the opportunity to, well, I believe to be the answer to a lot of questions, as well as to resolve other things, is huge. And when we look at, you know, mitigating climate change and dealing with air, water, soils, etc., it's an exciting and great time to be a farmer.
Definitely, farming is the future for our planet, isn't it? 70% of our land in England is farmed, and so if we get that right and we do it in the right ways, and we have both production and environmental sustainability alongside each other, we can make a huge difference to those things. Everybody, if we all work together in one big team, I like to see it, we can really go great strides, and everybody else in the world will be wanting to know how we did it in a few years' time, I hope.
I am right behind that vision. one of the other visions, of course, we are both right behind is the Cheese a Day Challenge. And
Oh yes,
you've obviously been tasting along with us. It's been great to see some of your posts.
I have.
Have you? What have been your highlights so far?
So I just love cheese of all types, and I've got to be honest, they blend into one delicious big load of cheese in my head. I've been particularly enjoying the fact that there's lots of soft cheeses, because I do have a bit of a soft spot for a soft cheese. So I've been particularly enjoying those. And I've got to say, I had no idea there were so many different cheeses from our own fair isles. So I have changed my view on where I need to get my cheese from as a result of this particular challenge, I've got to say.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, I think I'm out of date. When we did this a couple of years ago, there were 1,069 accredited UK cheeses, which is more than France and Belgium put together. But I think I'm way behind. I think there's a lot more now. And actually, there's been a lot of difficulty in this last year with COVID and all the pressures associated with that. But I think there's a lot of initiative and flair and entrepreneurship coming out. And I really hope that the cheese landscape of the future is the better for the hardship of this year.
Yeah, well, let's hope that's the case across all fronts, really.
Yeah,
but gosh, it's amazing to see. It's amazing and it's such a joy. I got my second instalment of cheeses through the letterbox today. Well, not through the letterbox, outside the door, sitting in the cold. And I opened it with great excitement to see what's coming next. I really like the mystery about it as well, with just having numbers on the packages, so you don't know what it is until you open it. It's really good.
Well, that sounds like a just-in-time delivery. Well, let's go on with our mystery cheese of today. And as I kind of unwrap it and prepare it, let's get ourselves ready.
This cheese, I've just opened it. It smells amazing. It's quite ripe.
It is absolutely fantastic. And I know Tim Jones at Lincolnshire Poacher, who put the box together for us. This was the cheese he was concerned about because it has the shortest shelf life, which is why he said, let's taste that on the Thursday and on 11 and get that tasted. It's actually a Vacherin Camembert cross. It's a Winslade cheese. It's made from in Hampshire from some Holstein, Swedish Red, and oh gosh. Another cross of cow as well. So a real mishmash in the beautiful Hampshire countryside.
Well, it looks very lovely and sloppy, which is exactly how soft cheeses should be, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
Bit of oozing.
Yeah, gosh, definitely a good bit of oozing here. But let's have a little look at this. We'll give it a quick sniff. It's
the smell is amazing.
Oh, it just says "eat me," doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got actual drooling happening here now.
well, feel free to start with the tasting. I'm just looking on the Hampshire Cheeses website just to give us novice tasters a.
Oh, it's lovely.
Is it good? Oh, come on!
It's really good.
So it is encircled in a spruce collar, which gives the Winslade a unique and distinctive pine note. Prepared in the same way as a traditional Camembert, it has an unusual pinkish hue and a dappled rind. Yeah, I think it's got a pinkish hue and dappled rind.
I can't see a pinkish hue.
It might. It's not,
maybe there's little bits of pinkiness actually on around the outside. Maybe
it's a kind of little freckles of pinkishness. But yeah,
it's lovely.
It's soft and unctuous. Let me admit to you, Janet, I don't know what unctuous means. But
doesn't it mean oozy? It means oozy, doesn't it?
Well, it's definitely that. I
think it means oozy. Let's assume that's what it means, because it definitely is that thing.
And I can't hold back. I'm going to get in it just to say it's got a quiet floral earthiness. Come on.
Are you eating it on its own or on some kind of biscuit? I've got mine on a Hovis cracker.
I'm going straight up. 2 years ago when I did the Cheese Day Challenge, I just ended up kind of crunching, kind of Cookie Monster style.
That's what I'm doing.
I don't have a small bite. I don't believe in a taster slice. So you've got to go big to enjoy the flavour. That is tremendous. What a cheese that is.
Isn't that lovely? I'm saying 9 out of 10 at least for that one.
Oh, straight off. And it's actually a cheese that kind of sits with you as well. So
yeah.
It's kind of
but not in a bad way.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think it's a 9 out of 10 up front, but it's it's a bit like the shipping forecast. It could gusting to 9.5 or 10.
Oh, it's quite nice to just eat it on its own. Actually, you get a different sense of what it's like. I do like a cracker.
That is tremendous, isn't it? Gosh.
Yeah.
And actually, you're right. It's the kind of cheese that could take a lot of other flavours and a lot of other things with it. It would be a great accompaniment. Although, to be honest, as I say, for me, it's the main event today.
Definitely. You could get a bit of Bit of red sauce on there, bit of cranberry sauce maybe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bit of I'm still working through my leftover Christmas cranberry sauce, having had
Mm.
2 people here instead of 12 at Christmas.
Well, I like anything with a little bit of spice, so it could take a little bit of chili or something like that as well. So,
yeah, very good. I'm very glad I did today. Mind you, I would have been quite happy on any of the days, as I say, because I do love a cheese.
I don't think I've been grumpy any day in February this year. So,
No.
so apart from when the Pearl Lass ran out on Saturday night, but you know, that was a low moment when I realised. I looked back at the cheese board and realised I finished the lot. So
all planning.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Exactly. Oh no, that is tremendous. So just coming back to your role at DEFRA, I mean,
yeah,
obviously we are a really varied. We have a really varied farming landscape in the UK, and we, from the large scale right down to the artisan. So will there be a place in the future British landscape for artisan dairy and cheese producers producing our amazing cheeses, and how do you see that?
I think we know what the right answer to that question has to be, don't we? We've got to say yes, and I think we've got to. So the way we're trying to design what we're doing here is we're trying to make it so that there's something for everybody in what we're doing. So when we think about farming productivity, we're looking at how do we provide grants and support for people to buy kits at quite a low value, but that can make a big difference on a small farm, right up to hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of kits. And how do we support that on much bigger farms? And all the way through how we're designing the environmental land management scheme as well. We're thinking, how does this work in a range of settings? How does it work on different types of farm, in uplands, in lowlands, in all the different kind of geographical locations? And one of the kind of markers for success for us is, have we provided a place for everybody in this, so that there are options for everybody? And that's quite hard to do if what you're also trying to do is make what you're doing simple and straightforward, because there's a lot of complexity in trying to cater for everybody. But that's why we need to take our time and roll this out gradually and learn as we go and make mistakes and correct them and pick it up as we go along. And I suppose the other thing to say about that is there's a lot of other issues which are outside of my particular remit that will affect the future for artisan cheesemakers and others, to do with fairness in the supply chain, local infrastructure, prices, food prices, wider food strategy, rural economy. There's all sorts of kind of other factors at play here. And so there's one of the things we have to try and do through my team's work is make sure we're linking in with all the other colleagues who are working on other aspects of this, so that what we do adds up to like a coherent whole overall for farmers, so that you don't have to see any of that complexity. You just have stuff that works for you in your setting, and it's really straightforward. But the idea is we've got to do the hard work, to make hard work inside government to join up to make it really, really straightforward and simple for farmers. So I'm looking forward. We'll talk again in a couple of years, and you can tell me whether you think we've pulled that off or not, because it's not an easy thing to do, but it's what we've got to do if we want to make this work. Well, so I very much hope there will be a future for artisan cheesemakers such as those who have made this particular cheese here.
That's right. Here's to your Hampshire cheeses. I mean, I completely agree with that, and it does sound like a lot of spinning plates. But I'm completely behind that grand vision. And I know on our farm we made use of a grant a couple of years ago, without which we wouldn't have been able to buy to invest in a direct drill, which enables us to reduce our tillage and all the. I mean, we've already started to see some massive impacts in terms of just the soil health. Our it's tremendous. And actually, I know it's very, very cold this week, but we've had one of those other kind of really wet winters. We've already started to see the benefits in terms of the moisture holding content of the soil, even down to the fact that when I see water running in ditches, it's clear and it's not cloudy.
That's amazing.
Not losing nutrients because we were able to invest in that way. So gosh,
that's amazing.
That's well, I'm right behind that vision. I'm right behind it.
And that's one of those things that's in the sweet spot as well, because it helps you reduce your costs and be more efficient, and it also is good for the environment. That's the sort of sweet spot that we want to be operating in for people. So it's not about a choice between, am I going to do good things for the environment and nature, or am I going to do good things for my farm? You can do things which achieve both at the same time. And we think there's loads of things like that which we can do, which are in the kind of common ground between environment and farming, and it's not always about kind of binary choice. So it's interesting to hear. I stopped digging on my allotment on a much smaller scale. I put no dig beds in my allotment at the beginning of last year, and I'm all around my allotment. The site at the moment is completely waterlogged, but the raised beds are fine. and perfectly kind of friable, and you can kind of plant things in them and stuff, and perfectly fine.
There we go.
It's amazing. Just after a year, it's amazing what an impact it made. I can't believe that I was digging it for 14 years, not realizing what damage I was doing. And as I was coming into this role, I was reading all about regenerative agriculture, and it was Gabe Brown's book that that made me realize I've got to stop doing this. Obviously, I'm on a tiny scale. It's not the same as farming. I'm not trying to say it's the same, but it's just, it's the same processes, isn't it? And then finally, I understood why it is. This is that I'm destroying my soil by digging it in this way. I need to do something different. It's exciting, isn't it? It must be really exciting at farm scale to make changes like that and see the impacts.
It is, and I think because I think you really feel a responsibility for the land that you farm, and actually to be able to make those differences is fantastic, and to kind of really live and breathe it and to experience it as well. So
it's like a different kind of connection, isn't it? When I talk to farmers that have started using these practices, it's like a different kind of connection to the land than just the thinking of it as a way to produce food. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, I kind of overlay that with your earlier point about there's so many different things going on and there's so much diversity, because there are no two fields are the same, even on my farm. So no two farms are the same, and we have a lot of different tools, and it's about kind of picking the right ones and and really pursuing that and I guess getting the best value for money for everybody, for consumers, for government, for farmers as well. And actually, I think with farming, there's that great kind of multiplier effect. Farming has so many touch points in the rural economy. I think the NFU did that great research a couple of years ago where they said for every £1 spent in farming, you get £7.21 or £7 something of in the rural economy. And of course, you give a farmer £1, a week later he hasn't got £1 because he's invested it in something, whether it's a sheep or machinery or some technology or something, whatever it is. That the velocity of that investment, it moves quickly.
Yeah, I hadn't understood. There's many things that I had not understood when I first came into this role, and many things that I still don't understand, and I need to be learning all the time. But one of them is the kind of the connection between farmers and the community that they're part of, and the economy that they're part of, and how many different people come and go on the farm to do different things with that money. Exactly as you say. It's a real sort of, they are nodes that connect the rural economy, aren't they? Farms.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let me just add one further thing. I'm gonna pop through to the kitchen because I think I can hear. I got a little bit of my my Winslade, and I was tipped off that it's quite good baked. So if you've got a little bit left, you might want to bake yours and have a little dip later on. But I'm just going to go and grab mine, and I'll just do a little comparison, see if there's any good baked as well. Back in a moment.
Oh, lovely! I bet that'll be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It smells good. And most of it's still in the pot. Not all of it.
Oh, it looks gorgeous. I love a baked camembert. This is very similar, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
That looks lovely.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going to get something to dunk it in.
Be nice with a bit of garlic in it.
Yeah, well, they said I looked online for a recipe, and they recommended thyme sprigs or maybe chili flakes or vermouth, dry white wine. I guess it's one of those things that can just it can make friends with a host of
yeah. I reckon thinly sliced garlic poked in, with a little bit sticking out.
Oh gosh, yeah, I think
that's the best way to bake camembert.
I think you've won that. Well, I've got a caramelized onion flavor bruschetta.
So wow,
it's caramelized onion.
You are doing this properly. I've just brought Hovis crackers, and you've got like an entire thing going on here. Gourmet.
But the fact that it says caramelized onion flavor, that suggests to me there might not be any caramelized onion in it.
Never been near an onion in its life.
Oh, look at that! I don't know if you can see that. That is.
Hold it up, can't see.
That is.
Oh yeah.
Look at
look
that.
Lovely.
Around there, see if we can see that.
It's like cheese soup.
It is. Look at that. Right, hang on. Hang on. Oh, man overboard. Right. Well, fortunately, I expected this. So I've got another one as well. Right. Oh, that's heavenly.
I bet it is.
I hope you've got a little bit left there because that definitely.
I have.
Wants to go in the oven at 180 for 20 minutes.
I might just whack it in afterwards.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it is so runny. Well, Janet, thank you so much. It's been great to hear your enthusiasm, to get a kind of glimpse into your life and into your living room, and to have you tasting cheese with us today. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your vision for the future. And it's been a pleasure to have you along with us today. Janet Hughes, thank you so much.
I've loved it so much. Thank you very much for inviting me. I feel fully honoured. And thank you for all of the cheese.
Well, I shall raise my my baked Winslade and say cheers.
Cheers to you with my Hovis cracker with a bit of cheese on it.